You're on the Soul Lounge Primetime Show. This is the Night Watchman and DJ LeRoy.
Can you say WHCR?
Back to life.
Back to
So we have a guest coming up. Bruce Lincoln, the co-founder of SilonHarlem.
Hello.
Hey, Bruce. How are you?
Good evening.
Good. Welcome. So we have Bruce Lincoln, co-founder of SilonHarlem, on the line. And
so, Night Watchman, you talk about the Bruce Lincoln?
The Bruce Lincoln. The man, the myth, the legend. No, not an imposter.
I even understand that, before he became this serious scientist, he also was a ball player, had some game.
I don't know nothing about that, but
well, 1 year after my knee surgery, I'm getting my game back. Just to let you guys know.
Oh, okay.
Shoot.
All right. Okay.
How you doing, brother? Talk to us.
I can't complain, man. We're very excited here and working tenaciously on making the 6th annual SilonHarlem Next Gen Tech Conference happen.
6th annual. So you guys are talking about World 4.0. What in the world does that mean?
Well, what we're talking about is that we're at the advent of the 4th Industrial Revolution. And what that means is, as we've gone through the transition from an agrarian to sort of an industrial civilization, then from the industrial civilization, we went to the scientific civilization driven by electricity and those types of advances. Well, now we're in the second part of the digital age, where we're looking at virtual reality, autonomous technologies, driverless cars, artificial intelligence, augmented reality, VR. All those things are going to come together and palpably change the world as we know it. So the idea is, how do we navigate this coming transformation?
And Bruce, do tell, in terms of SilonHarlem providing, let's say, access and opportunity to communities like Harlem and others, what are you guys on the forefront of doing?
Well, what we're focused on is making sure that everyone in the community has an understanding of these technologies so that they can really for themselves see where the opportunities are. So we try to be universal in our educational outreach, which we class under digital literacy. And then we're also very committed to making sure that on a universal scale, everyone has access to broadband, because all the technologies will basically be connected through the fact that we're trying to create a ubiquitous, always on demand, everywhere internet.
So this is the 6th annual SilonHarlem Next Gen Conference. Tell us a little bit about just the progression and expansion over 6 years of this event.
Well, just to sort of go back to Broadband Matters, we basically declared, I think for our 4th conference, that broadband matters. This idea that it's not just enough to be on the internet. It's not, and it certainly isn't enough not to have access to the internet, but the broadband internet is what matters. That's where you have access to the kinds of, critical applications that are important, from education to job training to employment to just submitting a resume. And we want everyone to really get galvanized around that kind of level of where they need to be platformed. Since that time, of course, because technology advances so rapidly, what we looked at last year for number 5, which was a big year for us, was this idea of rethink everything. So with an Internet of Things, that means everything's going to be connected to the Internet. With AI and machine learning and driverless cars, we have to start to look at that and look at our community differently. We're now talking about smart cities. We're talking about tech-enabled everything. Well, now what we're saying with number 6 is it's here. So it's World 4.0. Let's get ready. It's here. We can't deny it. We can't turn backwards from it. We have to just take it on head on and say we want to now get ahead of this thing. So the conference will start with World 4.0. Let's get ready, and then it will culminate with World 4.0, let's lead the way. So we hope in the course of that day-long progression of events, people will really get a sense of what's going on with all these different cool technologies.
So,
Yeah, that
echo?
was interesting.
Yeah. You must be the voice of God, because we heard an echo right after you, Bruce. So, bringing the tablets down
I'm in
to
our
Harlem.
Innovation Center, and it tends to be echoing once all the people leave.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So, where do you see the on ramp for Harlem and Harlemites to access all this technology in terms of creation of opportunity of businesses and finding a niche in all of this? Because all this stuff is great opportunity, but it's confusing to many as to where to even begin.
Education.
Okay.
You know, having a conference such as this where you can get exposed to all these technologies. And it's not simply that we're going to have top flight speakers. We're going to have an exhibition hall. It's going to be at the National Black Theater. So it's accessible to people. It's not a high-tech space. It's a cultural setting that's now been outfitted to give you this kind of technology experience.
And if I'm not mistaken, is this not your second year at National Black Theater, or what?
Yes, it is. It's our second year at the National Black Theater. We love that venue.
Mm-hmm.
Iconic, yes.
Yes, totally.
Yep, that's right. And so that brings it to the people. Also, we have our own innovation center on 148th Street and 8th Avenue where people can come and, you know, we have Uptown Space. The acronym is US, where businesses are starting to come here and find a place where they can work and be exposed to these technologies. And then behind our walls, we've got the state-of-the-art infrastructure, from edge cloud servers to the next generation internet to how we're platforming Harlem itself as the test bed for 5G. These are all the things that we're doing that are designed to make sure that everyone in Harlem, and that's inclusive of everyone, from ongoing residents to newcomers, have access to these technologies and what will be a new world of opportunity.
So you guys have been very, very busy since last year when we talked to you before the conference. The Innovation Center is new. I believe last year when we talked to you, you were still doing things in WeWork. And so you've graduated and taken some of the WeWork model and implemented it in Harlem, but you've obviously added your own remix onto it.
That's a good way to put it, but you probably shouldn't talk too much about WeWork nowadays based on what's going on with their founder who's moved into disfavor and how they're saying that it might go from a potential IPO to declaring bankruptcy. But from the standpoint that it's a co-working model, yeah, we've taken those aspects of the co-working model and then tailor them to meet the needs of our community. You should remember, we've been involved with every co-working space that's been in Harlem, from Creative Space founded by Regina Smith to the iHub 125th, on Central City College. So we've taken the best of all of those and, as you said, mashed them up and then, you know, laid them out here in Uptown Space.
So what do you feel is the best, what you've distilled from that, and what you guys are now implementing in Harlem on 8th Avenue and 149th Street, in case you want to go by there?
Just 148th Street, 149th is the common good where you got
that's
coffee
right.
and hot cross buns.
That's right. You're absolutely right. I'm putting them in the neighborhood though. But on the serious side,
they're also one of our partners. They're going to be providing coffee and baked goods.
Oh, that's nice.
So that's the other thing that, you know, we're community-based. So we relate to all the parts of the community. It's not just the techies. We relate to everyone. And, you know, Curtis, you can attest to this because we work closely with ACDC. We work with MEOC. We work with the Harlem Congregation for Community Improvement. So we're a for-profit tech company, but we're community-based. So we, you know, share all the same values of everyone else in the community, and we want to be accessible to everyone.
Gotcha.
So that might be the best way to frame what we've sort of taken from all the other co-work spaces. I mean, if you look at all the co-work spaces, we've been that common presence across all of them, and now we're in our own space and trying to figure out a new mix.
So now, Bruce, I know some of the work that you guys did with the Caribbean Cultural Center there on 125th. Tell me, this past summer, you were doing some innovative things with some young people. So do tell me about the program that you had lined up for them this past summer.
Okay, yeah. It began as the Apps Youth Leadership Academy at the Caribbean Cultural Center, and now it's evolved into the Tech Skills Accelerator, where we actually had it retained by the Department of Ed to provide certain types of programs. So this year, we basically did the TSA, as we call it, and we focused on drones.
Wow.
And the kids learned how to fly drones, just short of being able to take their exams to get a pilot's license. But we had a tremendous time. They learned how to fly these drones, flip them, have them go through obstacles, and then they also became immersed and knowledgeable about the industry as it stands. And we did it in 5 weeks. You would have thought it was longer than that, the amount of fun that we had. But the coolest thing was we found this model aircraft park in Calvert Vaux Park in Brooklyn, in Gravesend. And this thing is designated as like an official place where you can fly drones.
Oh,
really?
Wow.
So all the kids were basically made. They had free model aircraft memberships, junior memberships, which last till they turn 18.
Wow.
And we were able to fly our drones, but then they actually had the professional drones like they use with ABC. So the kids actually had a chance to learn how to fly those, which basically are real stable. You can take up like 100 feet, 100 feet.
Wow.
They got crazy cameras that can zoom in on you.
Wow.
And then they turn different shots. So that was the high point. We always have a graduation, so the graduation was very nice for the parents and for the school officials. But that was like the culminating activity. And we discovered something about New York City. It's that thing about only in New York, right? Who would have known?
Wow, that's great. So you're able to give them some real exposure as well as develop some skills that have some real market value.
That's right. That's right. And build a relationship with the Columbia Secondary School, which is now really our platform for how we're trying to broaden out STEM and digital learning in schools and nonprofits all throughout District 5. And I think if you guys know, one of our dreams has been to really make sure that not only are people gaining access to the technology, but that they're gaining an opportunity to learn the STEM at earlier and earlier ages. So we're at a really nice place as far as our ability to, reach out to the community and do good things on its behalf.
Can you tell us a little bit about some of the tech infrastructure that you have in your new space?
I can tell you about some of it. Some of it is proprietary, so I can't tell you about it.
I know you're not.
Wow.
I'm not asking the secrets.
In essence, what we're doing from the standpoint of a number of different research projects coming to bear is we're putting in place fiber optic infrastructure. We're waiting for the final designation of SilonHarlem to be the Manhattan Gigabit Center, which will then connect to the same infrastructure as the link that you see that's from Intersection. With our Smart Cities project, we're working with a number of the top universities to try to develop very low-cost devices that people can use in their homes that would then connect to advanced wireless connectivity. And then we had our good friend Brian Carter here during the Harlem Week, who created Virtual Harlem. So then that's where you can interact with the Harlem Renaissance circa 1930 wearing the VR goggles. And we actually had a chance to expose some of our seniors to that through Harlem Week. So we've had 200 seniors. So, I mean, not to be crass, but imagine someone with their walker also wearing the
VR,
the headgear, and folks had a chance to be exposed to that.
No, that's great.
So it's that kind of thing. It's not only high tech, it's high touch.
Man. So Bruce, tell me about some relationships that because you had mentioned earlier the DOE. You have some, besides the Columbia Secondary, any other local schools that you guys are working with?
Well, we're starting to work with, we're trying to work with Thurgood Marshall.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So that's right,
we're
because I think I saw you guys at an event that was, hosted by Sandy Johnson, Dr. Sandy Johnson.
Yeah, we were there to help welcome Danica Rux, the new superintendent. So the idea is sort of from Columbia Secondary. That's our springboard to then work as well with Thurgood Marshall,
Mm-hmm.
Frederick Douglass Academy. We work with the Boys Club in New York.
Mm-hmm.
We've been working with some schools in the Bronx as well as downtown.
Okay.
In the Bronx, it's based, the Bronx Academy for Software Engineering.
Mm-hmm.
Down in the around Irving Place is the Academy for Software Engineering, and then two more schools in the Bronx which are focused on computer tech.
Okay.
So we're trying to, the whole program involves, of course, drones. That's hot.
Mm-hmm.
AR, VR, 3D printing, web development, and then, of course, what we do for underserved populations and older students between MEOC,
Mm-hmm.
what we're doing the St. Nicholas houses. So we're trying to really expand everybody's access to these technologies in a fundamental way.
Now, so when you say AR and VR, just for our listeners, can you differentiate the difference between AR, augmented reality, and VR, virtual reality?
Well, virtual reality is basically when you put on the headsets and you immerse yourself in computer-generated virtual environment.
Mm-hmm.
That may seem like it's real or it might be fantastic. AR is when you use your phone, and in essence, you're able to access a virtual overlay on reality. So you may be walking along 135th Street where they actually have that little-known Walk of Fame, and you look down at one of those stars, and all of a sudden pops up Billie Holiday. We've, in the past, working with the Caribbean Cultural Center, as Curtis had alluded to earlier, created a Celia Cruz augment that when you looked at the stage in the El Barrio, in the Museo del Barrio,
Mm-hmm.
Came up and you saw her performing at the Apollo in '69.
Wow. Wow.
So that's AR, and then it's interactive. So you might click on this image that's overlaying, whatever you're looking at. It might take you to a website, or it might play music. So these are
And you guys have to embed into the various things point it at the particular object, and then that will trigger the augmented stuff.
right,
huh?
right. So a lot of what we've done is image based. So it recognizes what you're looking at,
Mm-hmm.
and then brings up the imagery from the cloud, or it might be geolocated, so it knows your location based on your phone and brings it up.
Gotcha.
Now, this year at the conference, I saw that you guys are going to be covering blockchain and distributed ledger technologies. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, basically, it's not looked at separately. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, blockchain is a distributed ledger technology.
Or I should say
cryptocurrency.
Some people know that as cryptocurrencies as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Uh-huh. But it's looked at in this interrelated fashion, so it's dark matter.
Mm.
So there's an Accenture report which says that these are the 4 fundamental technologies that are going to change everything.
Mm-hmm.
Distributed ledger technologies, where you basically have this uneditable record of a transaction. That's in essence what blockchain is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You also have AI, artificial intelligence, which is going to basically run everything. It will be running in the background of everything. Extended reality. So that's virtual reality, augmented reality, and mixed reality, where basically in the world that we operate in, there'll be virtual environments connected to physical environments. And then Q, quantum computing.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So supposed to be talking about those things as they interrelate, and then how they're going to change, everything as we know it.
So quantum computing, is that a reality in this day and age right now?
It is, but where it's going is what people are really looking at. But right now, they're starting to work out ways that they can do this computing on the quantum level. So rather than it working with just zeros and ones, it works with what they call qubits. So basically, the idea of the quanta is that they can be in two different places at the same time. Mm-hmm. So they've worked to harness that strange quirkiness for computing. So now all of a sudden you're looking at either unbreakable, cryptologies, or the other way around is you could basically
break everything.
Right. That's right.
Right. So the bottom line is
race.
No one knows.
Gets it first.
Right. It's an arms race.
Wow.
And Google has declared something today, didn't they? I saw them declare some kind of early, we're ahead of everybody else type of thing. I didn't read the article, but I know that we obviously know that they're working hard on it. But
they're working hard on it. China's working hard on it.
Russia's working hard on it.
At Bell Labs. Clayton and I saw some of that. But that stuff, it takes so much to do it. It's across several rooms. So you got where the computing happens, but then you have to cool it. So you have a room that's full of liquid nitrogen.
Just cooling it, yeah.
Just cooling it.
Wow.
And then it has a certain level of capability, but it doesn't have the kind of massive computing capability. That's 10 years off. But they're getting close to finding various ways that they might potentially commercialize certain aspects of it.
And now with this, and me, my science fiction type stuff always comes into play. Are we talking also potential time travel?
I don't know, not so much like that, but there is this talk of how they've taken small amounts of matter and transported them from one place to another. But just to talk about that from a Star Trek perspective, the body is a tremendous amount of information. So to basically take that, disassemble it, turn it into energy, transport it, and then reconstruct it, there's a lot to that. So if I said, if I took you and transported you at this early stage of an incomplete technology from where you were to, say, Maison Harlem, you would show up potentially with, like, your head on your knee and your shoes on your shoulders. So we're not there yet. We wouldn't want to try it out on you.
In other words, the mishap that happened in The Fly.
That's right.
Gotcha.
That's right.
Gotcha.
But theoretically, we're really, getting closer to doing these things. But what it takes are these breakthrough technologies. And we're not there yet. Also, of course, massive amounts of capital. Now, if we can just geek out for a bit, what is happening, though, is we're at the advent of private space. And that's going to be huge. That's potentially a multi-trillion-dollar industry. That'll be the largest supply chain economy in the history of the planet. And we're getting close to that with what's happening with, SpaceX and Blue Origin and some of these other companies. So more money was spent on space exploration through private entities than through the government for the first time.
Wow.
All right, so before we wrap up, let's go back and talk about the conference. First of all, give us the dates. Let's tell them the place again and where they can find information.
Yes.
You can go to www.SilonHarlem.com. That's our new website, and it's dedicated to the conference. It's going to be on October 18th, which is a Friday. It's going to be all day, starting at 8 o'clock through 6 o'clock. And it's going to be at the National Black Theater. And this year, the title and the theme is World 4.0, Let's Get Ready, right? Dun, 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 dun. You guys remember that music, right?
Yes.
Gotcha.
All right. Well, we're ready.
Yes,
thank you, Bruce Lincoln. We
All right,
always
fellas.
love having you on the show.
Absolutely.
Look forward to being at the conference. Be there or be square root.
Yeah, go. Yeah, that's a good one. And go online, and you can register for your ticket. And if you put in SH6, you get a discount.
Okay.
Ooh, let's do that.
SH6. There
Yes.
you go. All right.
All right, fellas. See you soon.
You got it. Take care, Bruce.
Bye now.
All right. Man, that was great.
Yeah,
man.
they got a lot of stuff going on. That's
Yeah,
gonna
they
be a
do.
good one.
They
Gonna be a
really
good
do.
one. So I got something queued up. You got something queued up?
You actually do?
I do.
Okay,
All right.
let's hear what Night Watchman got for us.
My head toss, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling? Head toss, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling? Woo, child, tired of the foolish. Gone, dust your shoulders off. Keep it moving, yes, Lord. Step into some new kicks. In there, swimwear, going to the pool quick. Come now, come dry your eyes. You know you a star, you can touch the sky. I know that it's hard, but you have to try. If you need advice, let me simplify. If he don't love you anymore, just walk your fine self out the door. I do my head talk, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling? Head talk, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling? Feeling good as hell. Baby, how you feeling? Woo, girl, need to kick off your shoes. Gotta take a deep breath, time to
Oh, they had that funky little breakdown there.
You saw
that was
that,
kind of
huh?
nice. Yeah. It's hold up, what's up?
Well, that's why I said, Night Watchman, in terms of music, it's all about the sound and that what it maybe even does to your body, to the endorphins, man.
Well, it's vibration.
It really is.
Yeah, it's energy.
Totally. That, of course, was a Moonchild featuring Cure. And before that, I heard something that you were playing.
Lizzo. That was good as hell.
Nice, nice. And that was a great little conversation with Bruce Lincoln.
Absolutely, yeah.
So between him and his partner Clayton Banks, SilonHarlem, they're really making sure that the technology and as we march towards the future, that communities like Harlem and other communities of color are prepared.
Right, and it's not even the future; it's the present.
Yes.
Yeah.
When we were talking about what's that, quantum computing and whatnot.
Well, I mean, you think about all the things that were just fiction when we were kids. And, not all of it has come, but a lot of it has.
I mean, Dick Tracy watches, man. Come on.
The watches. The first flip phone looked just like the communicator on Star Trek.
Correct, totally.
The iPad looks like the tricorder on Star Trek. So
Yes.
And now we have 3D printers, which is like the replicator on Star Trek. So.
I don't know. Do you remember one of these Mattel products, Mattel growing up, that you could like make cars?
I do, some sort of injection type of thing.
Yeah, it was
inject the plastic
mold, exactly.
Right, exactly.
It would heat up to a certain temperature, and then you would actually just
Right.
think
now you're not talking about the easy bake oven.
No. And tell me that you did make some buns in there.
I don't know what we made, but we were kids. We didn't know better. We actually ate that
who
stuff.
knew that 100-watt bulb, 120-watt bulb, could do that, and it was also freaking dangerous. You know that,
right?
I know it probably got pulled by UL.
It probably did. Yes, yeah.
So, in terms of sports, you keeping up with any?
Well, I know the Yankees are in the playoffs.
Yes, they are.
The Giants have a new quarterback.
Yes. Is he perm? Did he play this last one?
I didn't.
I know he played the one before, in which they won. But this particular one, I'm wondering.
I didn't check the game out, so to tell you the truth, I don't know. But I thought the change was permanent because let's face it, Eli has, Eli got a lot of miles on him.
Yes, he does. And just so you know, Night Watchman and I, we did watch Eli in his glory.
There you go.
We do know that
in the past.
I got to, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, listen, he got 2 rings.
2 rings.
Other than Tom Brady.
Okay.
It's hard to find anybody else in the league with more than 1 ring.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, can we say to Tom,
but
you never beat Eli in the Super Bowl? We can say that.
Yes, we can say that. Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
But would we rather have Tom Brady?
Wow.
Yeah, wow, I hate him, but of course we would rather have him. Come on, let's not be ridiculous.
I cannot believe you made
ridiculous.
that pivot. I cannot believe you made that pivot.
I mean, it's not going to happen, but I mean, in like a best of all possible worlds, where we could like wake up one morning and wave our hands, and he would be the starting quarterback for the Giants or the Jets, and we could just send them whoever. Bill Belichick would wake up screaming. Oh, come on. Come on. What's better than that?
No. Yeah. You're right. Yeah.
He'd never come out of that hoodie. He'd just like pull it over his face. What happened? I don't like this reality.
See, Night Watchman. See,
I have a fertile imagination. What could I say? There's nothing wrong with that.
You do. So tell me now. I understand that you were also hanging out a number of community-based organizations and groups doing their thing last week.
Oh, yeah. Well, we were Harlem Grown. As you recall, we had Harlem Grown's founder Tony Hillary on earlier this summer, and then we being Harlem Emergency Network, did an event with Harlem Grown in their space during Harlem Ready Week, and then they had what they called their fall harvest. So they've been giving out free organic fruits and vegetables to the community, and I guess it's like the harvest bounty, and so they had a lot of different setups there, and they were showing you how to make strawberry jam and showing you how to make real butter with herbs in it.
Really?
And they had samples of honey from their own beehives.
They've got a beehive.
Yes, so they had these 4 types of honey. So they had lavender honey, jalapeno honey, basil honey, and rosemary honey.
Wow.
And,
what was your favorite?
They were all off the chain, okay? The lavender was very good. Most people liked either the jalapeno or the lavender the most.
I'm wondering about that jalapeno. That sounds kind of mixing the hot with the sweet.
It was, but really,
nice.
You had to try all 4 because they were all very distinctive and they were all very, very good. So we have been, in our household, have been enjoying the fruits and vegetables of Harlem. But let me give you this intro. So afterwards, I met what I consider to be probably the preeminent and the oldest farmer in Harlem.
Really?
His name is Willie Morgan.
Okay.
And he's got a community plot on 122nd Street. He has been farming.
122nd and what?
8th Avenue.
Okay.
He's been farming in Harlem since 1969.
Wow.
And he's been in this location for 15 years. He also does around, the Harriet Tubman statue?
Yes.
Okay, so around that statue, he grows peanuts and cotton.
What?
That's right. Cotton doesn't come to Harlem. It's actually grown here in Harlem. So I'm trying to have Willie Morgan on our show next week. We have tentatively have him scheduled.
Okay.
His story is incredible. He's been featured on Fox 5 News and in the New York Times. So he was originally a numbers runner. No, he was originally from down south, but in his younger years, he ran numbers. He had a spot on 125th Street that was clearly back in the day.
Yes.
And he had there was a vacant lot next to it. He started growing vegetables in it, and so he actually gave people combos. If you bought numbers, you might get a basket of fresh vegetables with it.
What?
Yeah. So he was a very enterprising young man. At some point in time, he had a boutique where you could buy like an all leather suit, and but he ultimately took to his talents in growing, and so he's been growing in Harlem.
Nice.
Callaloo, which
Callaloo.
Those of us from the West Indian descent know about the Callaloo, and you try to find fresh Callaloo here anywhere other than Brooklyn, you might find some, but he's growing Callaloo, he's growing eggplant, he's growing red okra, he's growing 8 different types of mint, lemon basil. The range and array of vegetables that he's growing here in Harlem is incredible. So he has a great story to tell.
Okay.
And so I'm hoping to have him here next week. Next week I'm celebrating my 43rd year in radio broadcasting.
Wow.
That's right.
Wow, Night Watchman. Who knew?
That's right. And so I also have another guest who was there at the beginning, was on the radio with me.
Do tell.
Yes. And so he's also a Harlem resident, and he's going to be coming by.
Who's this guest?
His name is Walter Callender.
Wow.
That's right.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you heard that. You're going to be tuning in to this Soul Lounge Primetime next week.
Next Monday. Don't miss it. Don't miss it.
Because Night Watchman, 43 years, who knew? I've only had the brother for what?
About 10 or 11, something like that. Yeah. We've had a good run here.
Yes, we have. Now, we've actually known each other since the
we've known each other
80s.
longer. Yeah, yes, longer than...
Actually,
yes,
no.
No.
I think 78
Right.
was maybe
you're right,
the
right,
party.
Right.
Okay.
You're right. So it's probably, we've known each other about 41.
Exactly.
Still a pretty good run.
Yeah. No,
Pretty
man.
good run.
Yes.
Yep.
So you know what, Night Watchman? I think I got something queued up. What do you think? Gonna do a little something.
Okay.
And you're gonna get your stuff ready. I know that because you're always ready.
I am always ready.
All right, there you go.
Yeah, it's been 3 whole weeks since I saw your face. And girl, I need you here when I call your name. Yeah, 'cause I get high when I think about love. I get by when I think about us. Don't know why, but I've been holding on so long.